What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Club 33 podcast. This week it is just Sky and I for episode 22, but Joos is with us in spirit. He'll be back with us shortly.
R.I.P. Juice.
R.I.P. Juice. He's
Thoughts and
busy.
prayers appreciated.
He's busy making that chocolate. He's with us, and I'm sure he would add so much to this conversation because he's really been into it. I know lately he's been really working hard on his account. He hasn't just been very vocal about it, but he's made a lot of progress, and I know he's having a lot of fun with the new raid. And with that, Sky, how has this week been in DSA for you?
Dude, so much fun. I've just been having a blast playing the game. We had Summoner Showdown finish up. We had Siege of Olympus drop. There's just a lot happening in DSA, and that's not something we could say for a long time, and I'm pumped.
It's true that we couldn't say that for a while, and now it just seems like things are ramping up. Like I think their Q4 release schedule is gonna be pretty crazy. And we'll get into that. But I mean, Siege of Olympus, I have to say, if you guys have been around DSA for a while, has to be one of the smoothest releases they've had. There was no crashing. There was none of that, to at least my experience, at least. Except there was that one club that exploited something. Besides that, I looked past that.
That was like strict hacking, though.
Exactly. It wasn't anything on like Glue's side that they like had like a major bug that broke it for everyone. It's just someone found an exploit and took advantage of it. But besides that, this has to be, in all honesty, Sky, agree or disagree with me, this has to be one of their smoothest releases, and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There are some certain things that I've seen rumors of that they're going to do that I'd be very unhappy with, but that would be a next week thing because they are just rumors as of now.
What are these rumors? Is it safe to say?
There's some potential. I mean, they're data mine rumors, so I don't know if we want to talk about that, but there's some I don't know. It's been really smooth. I've liked everything a lot so far. I'll say that.
That's good. And difficulty wise, this has definitely been a big jump from Forbidden Depths. I will say, yes. I'll have Sky talk about like his club, but I'll just say shortly, my club, for whatever reason, decided to do tier 4 raid. We're recording this on a Friday. This is not our typical day to record, and it's just been a crazy schedule this week. So it released on Monday. It's Friday. We are about 30% through Tornado. We finished Rock, went through Tornado, and we still have Lava and Ice to go through. I think DLF is probably probably finished 2 of the Titans at the time of this recording, which is like 10 a.m. on Friday. But we're pretty far behind, it feels like. But I must say, like, the raid bosses just don't feel like they're doing as much damage as in Forbidden Depths. For whatever reason, they just kind of feels a little bit different, even doing tier 4. But Sky, please let me enlighten us on what your club has been doing.
Yeah, Villains at Night, the one Juice and I are in. We've been doing the T2 raid, and I think we finished 3 of them now.
So jealous.
And yeah, no, I mean, it's like we've already gotten more rewards than you're gonna get from a single raid.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get like some T8 stuff, but like all the tokens I'm gonna get is kind of gonna be better than that.
Oh,
so,
big
like,
time.
All clubs, like, because I saw a thing that had like the speculated health of each of them, and I think like even T2 to like T3 at like 4x's or something on
Really?
health. Yeah, I wish I had that in front of me, but I couldn't find it when
I think I've seen that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And T2 of course doesn't require those summoners chosen, which I know I only have one character ready myself, being Merlin, and so T2 I think really is the way to go for most clubs for quite some time because it's significantly easier and has significantly easier requirements. You do miss out on those T8 rewards, but you can still get them via the exchange with the tokens you get from the reward. I'm having a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of things I didn't expect about this raid. Like Headless Horseman is like OP in this raid because of whenever there's a spawned unit, right? You need to silence it.
Yeah.
and I know at least on the tornado one, that hits all 4 spawned units. So it on average kills, if it's level 3 or plus, kills 3 of them,
Yeah.
which is pretty huge.
Hmm.
So I've been having fun with that. Merlin's pretty OP with his basic against those spawns too. Just guaranteed sleeping them. You can shadow Merlin, and then his shadow just kills one of the spawns straight up, which is nuts because those things have like 20,000 health or something. I know, at least on T2. Um, yeah, it's a lot of fun interactions, and I think this is a really well done raid, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yes, this was very well thought out. I mean, the difficulty of this raid it is insane. It feels like, or just maybe the health of the raid bosses, you can really feel it. Because, like, I'm doing my Forbidden Depths, you do your run, you're like, oh, okay, the meter's going down. I really feel my attack, and like, oh, I did like, I don't know, 1,000,000 damage, and it did a significant amount. And then you're here, and you're like, the meter's not really moving, and I did, and then your attempt's over. You're like, you did 300,000 damage, and you're like, but the meter didn't move.
Yeah.
That's how that's how it feels like on tier 4. And I will say, like, if I had the choice, I would have gone for tier 2, then tier 3, then tier 4, because I'm guessing probably someone is a lot closer to getting at least maybe their second or third piece on their first G9 than I will be by the time we do our 4th raid. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see my club backing down from tier 4s. We're probably just going to keep on pushing through it, because it's going to take us. It's going to take us, I swear, until probably next Friday or Thursday for us to complete this tier 4 raid.
It's nasty.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, we're going to get one Zeus token and
That single Zeus token.
single Zeus token, and then we're going to have to go through, each one of the 4 bosses, leaving them last in order to do the heroics, and that's the end goal, of course. And I know my club, I respect them, it's their choice. I just don't agree with it, because it's just take forever. You're actually hindering your player, your club mates, more than anything.
Yeah, I know for what our club's at, like I already have over half of the a raid piece. Like if I'm just using my tokens for the raid pieces for T8 going into T9, I already have over half of one.
Who is your
And I
first
know
G9 pushing
I
for?
think I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Beast, but I haven't spent the currency yet because I'm kind of waiting.
I think that's
And
a
I
good
did
decision.
find that graphic that has the thought hit points. So basically, every Titan has an equal amount of health. So just divide each of these by 4. So T1, it has 28 million health.
So 7 million each.
7 million each. Yeah. T2 has a thought 30 million health, so 7.5 million each. So really, you should never be doing T1. It's only very slightly easier. And the rewards, I think, are good enough are big enough of a jump to make it so T1's just not correct for any club. So you go 30,000 to 30 million to 120 million at T3. So that's 30 million each Titan, and then you go from that to 240 million at T4, which is 60 million each Titan.
I
So
feel
each
it.
Titan, yeah, each Titan on T4 has as much as every single Titan twice on T2, and every single Titan on T3 has as much as the entirety of T2. So you can see it gets quite a bit harder on top of those additional requirements you're getting with these Sorcerer's Chosen characters required. So yeah, pretty insane scaling, and I think you're gonna see the progression of clubs getting Zeus and doing heroics and all of that be quite a bit slower because of that. And I'm sure we'll get some really good strategies eventually that pump out some really good damage. But with the empowered that these bosses get, they get really good OP when they become empowered. So
Yeah.
I don't see the ability to control the bosses in the way they've been able to before. Because once they get empowered, I feel like it's just over. Like you can't go infinite in any way. Like
Maybe once you hit like gear 13 or something.
yeah,
Well,
this I think we're gonna be struggling with this raid for a long time, which
yeah.
I don't know how I feel because I feel like it's like a polar opposite from Forbidden Depths. I feel like Zeus feels so unobtainable,
Mm-hmm. And what?
so unobtainable.
And I wonder what his kit's gonna look like.
Yeah, and he's probably gonna be best character in the game, like
Yeah.
Ursula was when she dropped, right?
He's probably not
Ursula was
gonna.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you go.
So he's probably not gonna be released until like even Q2. Honestly, at this rate that we're going, I
Yeah,
don't see anyone getting 145
no way.
until like March at the earliest.
Yeah, well, because you're for heroics, you're probably looking at half
December.
the hit points
Mhm.
of T4, right? Kind of like how it was for Forbidden Depths,
We hope.
if I were to guess.
We
Yeah,
hope.
I mean, I hope it's even lower, but that seems like a pipe dream.
Yeah, because
uh,
they learned their
yes,
lesson from Forbidden Depths.
yeah. So I just don't see people getting Zeus soon, but like I don't know. You remember like Ursula was like one of the best PvP characters in the game at or at 5 stars.
Yeah.
You know, like her power level was just way ahead, and slowly the game is kind of I feel like caught up to her.
Yeah.
And though she's still a excellent S tier character, I think she's on par with a few other characters now.
Hmm. I would agree.
So I think we'll probably see a similar thing with Zeus, where he'll be kind of that new staple for what the power level has to be of a character.
Absolutely. And going back to like Ursula for a second, I think no, honestly, if you've been around the game for about a year now, and you don't have Ursula, or at least 5-star Ursula, I think you probably should start working towards that. You might need to switch a club because at this point, really, I would say like almost every club in our collective except the beginner club is doing heroics, and even the beginner club is doing tier 4.
Yeah,
So at this point, if you're not getting her, and you have like a summoner score of like 200k plus, I think it's time that probably should
yeah.
bump up.
Because I feel like a lot of clubs right now, it's like, oh, you're a little lower summoner score, that's fine. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like the days of really hard summoner score / collection requirements are kind of out the window, and people just want like active players.
Yeah,
So you can definitely get into a club that's a little above
above your
your
grade.
collection,
Yeah,
yeah. Because they just want people to play the game. So, yeah,
exactly. Um, and like the strategies for this raid are definitely a bit different than Forbidden Depths.
definitely.
Forbidden Depths, you would always have Cauldron and Shadow, and you were set. Now you're like, I can use different spells. I can use
Hmm.
like the biggest one that we already mentioned was Horseman, and that's been a big help, especially with Tornado Titan.
Yeah. Horseman did get changed a little. We can talk about that too.
They increased potency, right? Big time.
Yeah. So basically, what they did is, um, they changed the level requirement of the silence, which is really good actually for people that want to use this spell in general. Now at level 3 instead of level 4, it gets that additional 25% chance to silence. So that's nice. And then it gets bonus potency at level 2 and level 4 now, giving it a total of plus 250% potency.
Hmm.
This is really weird to me because before this, spells, um, unless a character was immune for some odd reason, were just guaranteed to apply their harmful effect. So I think this is an only raid thing. I think only raid bosses
Yeah.
probably have the ability to resist. I still think in like PvP, these spells are gonna have their 100% chance to apply their harmful effect if there's no immunity. So a bit of an interesting change that now we're dealing with like potency on spells. Um, I kind of wish they would have explained that because it really doesn't make any sense to me, any type of sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
potency, tenacity have always been kind of like out there, and accuracy and precision, like they've always kind of been like for me, a
Yeah.
difficult concept because it's never been really explained well or highlighted.
Yeah. And yeah, it's well, cause I don't know. It's just this is a new mechanic to the game completely,
Hmm.
and I feel like they didn't treat it like that. They treat it like, oh yeah, it gains some potency. That's a buff, and it's like, well, I guess, but this is some, like there's never been a situation where spells need potency because they just were never resisted.
Yeah. And now
So,
I think the good part about this raid is that it's introducing or reintroducing mechanics that we may have probably ignored. And also like
hmm
spells like Horseman has had its up and downs. Like there was times you use them, times you didn't use it, and now
hmm
it's found a new purpose.
yeah, no, it's a S tier raid spell now.
Hmm.
I think for me, Shadow and Horseman are the big standouts so far.
Yeah, because like Cauldron, unless you defeat that Tornado Titan, the little speed boost that you get no longer happens. And like
hmm
Hero kind of feels, unless you're trying to do the whole like Calhoun, shielding with a
hmm
beacon, kind of is not, to me, I could be wrong. It doesn't feel as useful anymore because unless you defeat that Tornado Titan, you can't speed up anything. I caught myself numerous times in my attempts where I'm like doing the speed up on any whoever it is or even Cauldron, and it's like, oh, like why isn't he going? And I'm like, oh, forgot, the Tornado Titan's still alive.
Yeah.
So he's only going to be good once that thing's down.
Yeah. I've had some success with him, with like you're saying with Calhoun,
Mm-hmm.
giving those evades out to the beacon. But yeah, he definitely feel compared to what he was like in Forbidden Depths, where he was essentially an auto pick from the start to the finish of that raid. Like he was always like the character you wanted on, especially pre nerf when he gave shields to everyone or evades to everyone rather.
Yeah, and
Uh,
there's shields too. I can't remember.
yeah, shields too,
Mm-hmm.
but the evades really are what
Oh
uh
yeah,
were
50
nuts because then you
stacks.
don't. Yeah. But no, I think there's a lot of room for theory crafting this raid.
Yeah.
Uh, there's just little things that are interesting. It's like, oh, once a boss is empowered, it can't get a harmful effect. So Beast is kind of worse now
Mm-hmm.
because his basic is only hitting for 2 times once the boss has become empowered. I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Like,
Yeah, it's it's definitely a different raid, and I like how you're gonna like try and upgrade Beast first to Gear 9 because I think that's gonna be a really effective one.
yeah, I think yeah, Beast. He just gets a lot. He gets it basic. He gets his roar.
Mhm.
He fits in a lot of teams. He's pretty good in raid. I think he's just a really versatile character.
His Intimidate is very useful. I mean, he's not the only one who does Intimidate, but his I think I don't know if I'm wrong in this, but his feels like it does the most damage as well, which in raids is very very important.
Yeah, and that's only if we have a way to get deltas, that's only going up in its damage. It's getting a 50% boost.
Yeah, it's like we're probably gonna get. I think probably gonna get deltas in about like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
They
I hope.
Yeah, like if they add it, like if they do like another like summoners challenge update, like they add another tier,
Mhm.
you could see that, which would be greatly appreciated because the gold grind just got even worse. The gold
How
grind.
so?
Um, I feel like when like leveling up everyone to level 80, because I feel like my level 70 tunes, it's their gear, even if they're gear A, I would need that little buffer moving up. So like gearing up
Mm.
from 70 to 80 is 4 million, and if you take from 0 to 70, that's a whole another thing. Because before I would just try and level up someone to level 60, get them to gear 7, and I'm all set. Now I'm like, okay, we gotta bring up all these like 66, 67, get them to gear 8 in order to do this raid properly, and then it's just, I feel the gold grind forcing you to spend even more. That's how I feel.
That's fair.
Hmm. Granted,
Yeah,
Showdown does help, I understand, but yes.
Showdown. Yeah, because I think I did 3 first places for Showdown. So that
Uh,
like on only that alone, that's like 4.5 mil.
which is crazy because like
Yeah.
if I was in your position, I'd probably like, there's no gold grind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
did just I just G8'd my Frozone, so I just spent like all my gold, but like I have his abilities are fully up. He's, level 60, 66, that's where it needs to be at. So I've spent a lot of my gold recently, but
Hmm.
I've gotten a ton of characters up.
And
So, yeah.
speaking of Sorcerer's Chosen, are you going to go for all of them? Or what's your game plan for these Sorcerer's Chosen?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Because first of all, unless you're doing heroic, you only technically need 5, right?
Yeah.
Sure, it would be kind of nice to be able to use like Jack and Sally together or something, so maybe you want more. But you only really need 5, and I could see new characters being released being Sorcerer's Chosen characters. We know a tower's coming out soon, because they did say that Stitch Tower is getting removed to make room for a new tower. Uh, so that we could easily see the tower required characters be Sorcerer Chosen, or the tower character be Sorcerer Chosen. We haven't seen a legendary in a little while. We could see Sorcerer's Chosen characters for the legendary required or the legendary character. Um, there's they haven't said anything that these 8 characters they've chosen are like the final, only ones that will ever be in this category. So I got my Merlin up because that was easy. I'm in the process of getting my Frozone up because he still needs stars. And then after that, I'm thinking like maybe I'll go for Jack Skellington, but I'm gonna probably hold a little while, just wait for that tower to come out before I go for I think anyone past Jack Skellington. Because I don't know if some really good raid characters come out, I'm gonna feel bad if I go for some of these characters that haven't found a place yet, like Olaf and Horned King and Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Well, more or less, maybe not out of like necessity, but I taken a while to get Frozen there. I had him at like 2 stars. Now he's at 5 stars, almost on 6. We're gearing him up. Probably within the next week or so, I'm gonna get him there, and probably within the next week or so, we're gonna find out the next legendary, next tower. Because Glue's done this before. I wouldn't be surprised to do it again, where they just do release the raid and then do the rest of the releases. Because as long as the raid is smooth release, which it has been like this,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably going to release the next legendary, release the next tower. Because you and I know more than anyone, Beast came out a week after Forbidden Depths was released, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not out of the ordinary where this could happen. And
Yeah.
I would probably get start farming towards that new legendary because that's just me. I like going after legendaries. Um, but I think also for like the Sorcerer's Chosen, trying to be strategic as well. If Oogie Boogie really pans out to be who he is, I may have to start farming him. But if his in December his event should come around, and that's like 250 tokens. I think because I think I have him unlocked already. So like, I'm not that far away. I don't have to farm for like maybe 2 or 3 days if I complete that event, which I'm probably going to because I am going to level up Jack Skellington and Sally, which will get me a free Oogie Boogie, at
Mm-hmm.
least the tokens
Yeah.
wise. That would get
Yeah.
him there.
No, that's a really good call because I mean, if you farm Oogie Boogie and you didn't progress in his event last time it came, you're just gonna end up getting a bunch of token exchange currency, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what are you gonna do? You're gonna get your Oogie Boogie up like a month early.
Yeah, at
Like
best.
like if he was like the best raid character, maybe, but like I think we can already agree Frozone's better. I think we already agree that Merlin's better. Um, Jack Skellington, I feel like has gotten a lot of buzz. I feel like he's probably better, though I'm less certain than the other two.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's like I don't think I think if you're gonna get Jack and your Sally up, or they're already up at least to 7 stars, if not T7 also. You're really wise to hold back on farming Oogie and get his tokens via the event. It technically could not come back, but the way it was set up, I really feel like it's gonna come back.
yeah. I mean, if it happens where the event doesn't come back, it's not really gonna sting me. I'm just gonna have
Yeah.
to, farm them out, which is only I'll farm them in December. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I don't think anyone's gonna be doing heroic anytime soon, anyways.
Yeah, we might be
Unless you're
doing
in
heroics
one of,
then. We might finally
I don't,
reach it.
I no way,
Mhm.
no way,
You don't think so?
literally no
Mm,
way.
okay.
Well, if you should do heroic, like if it if it goes the same way as Forbidden Depths, you should do heroics when you can pass T4 in 2 days,
Yeah, that's about
and
right.
that seems impossibly far away.
Yeah,
That seems impossibly far away.
because
So
we're at what, day 5, and we're 25% left or 30% left on the Tornado Titan. We defeated the
yeah,
Rock Titan, so
yeah.
we're gonna be here for
So
a
you're
little bit.
what is that? You're 5/12ths in at 5
Something like
days,
it. Yeah,
and
around there.
yeah, and you need to be able to finish it in 2 days if the damage scales the same way. That's nuts. That's nuts.
And you would have
And the
to get the
requirement,
perfect attempts too.
and the requirements are higher too,
Yeah.
because you need those sorcerers chosen. You need the sorcerers chosen T8. You need, like I know I used a handful of T7 characters, in my raid attempts just because I was like, oh yeah, I don't, honey lemon. Like, sure, it'd be nice to have a T8 honey lemon, but on like my 4th or 5th attempt when I'm like, oh yeah, I'll throw a honey lemon in there. She does slow. She removes turn meter. She's not bad. Uh, but yeah, I don't see heroics happening anytime soon for clubs that aren't like top 5.
Yeah, because I know DLF and COO. I don't know if they're how far they're on. I haven't asked them, but I know they're probably on their third or fourth Titan at this point. More probably
Yeah.
third, like only starting, because when DLF was like, we only got like this chunk done on day 1. Like, oh, we're about the same spot. They're like a little bit more ahead of us, which is kind of expected, honestly. So it's like, oh, so we're not that far off. So if I do the calculations, they're probably probably mid of their third Titan, if not even a little bit less than that. But of course,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's I think we're really gonna need T9.
Yeah,
That's another reason I think there's gonna be more sorcerers chosen characters or more raid focused characters, even if they're not sorcerers chosen, because I think we need help.
yeah,
Like straight up, like I think there needs to be more characters that are up to that like Merlin Frozone level that we're seeing of like kind of the cream of the crop for raids right now.
hmm
I think we need more characters up to that level because if we don't, I don't see how any club that's not top 5 is ever supposed to do heroic.
it's good. Like the amount of time it took people to get to heroics who were like beginner clubs at the beginning of Forbidden Depths was like, I think what, like probably 6 months, and then nerf came around. It's probably gonna be about the same time until they can do it.
It's gonna be the same time
Yeah,
until our clubs can do it.
yeah.
Like I don't like it's that hard. It's so hard.
The health. If we had the damage amount, I think it will be a little bit different, which is why Gear 9 is so important now.
Yeah.
It's showing how important it is, and the Gear 9 abilities, the next level abilities, like that 50% damage boost on Beast would do, like, it doesn't seem like much right now, but my gosh, at Gear 9 and with these raid bosses, if it can do another 200 300,000 more damage per attempt you do with him, that's a big boost, honestly.
Yeah. Herc also getting a damage boost,
Exactly.
right, on his basic and his sword too, which is I think a pretty big deal.
Yeah, his sword definitely comes in handy. I did one attempt though with Ralph, and he did his Wreck-It attack. He had offense up and everything. He did a nice 65k on the raid boss.
Yeah.
You saw the meter go like a millimeter to the left, but I was like, it's something.
Yeah, if you get the crit with the offense up. I know when my attempt when I had Ralph, he didn't get any of his effects
Oh gosh.
So I only did like 26k or something. It
That's
was so
still that's
sad.
still not bad, honestly, going against
Yeah,
these
it was still
guys.
nice,
Hmm.
but it was like expecting more. Like I was kind of let down
It's this raid
because
puts
the
perspective a lot of things, honestly.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah, so like there's just gotta be something to make it easier. I just don't. We're gonna have to wait till G10 to do heroics. I freaking swear.
yeah, no, it feels like that we're gonna need like another gear tier to really like make it easy. Because at least with
Mm-hmm.
Forbidden Depths, if you had gear 8, sure it takes a while, but there is a lot of phases you could solo if you're
Yeah,
really adamant in doing it. I'm not. I'm kind of lazy. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah.
Um,
No, I soloed tons of phases at different times
mhm.
for Forbidden Depths. I remember at one point my damage dealer was Elsa, and I dealt like 3.5 million when the raid first came out.
That when the
I
raid
just
was broken, then it was awesome.
yeah, like you could just reduce turn meter like crazy, and my damage dealer was literally Elsa because I just didn't have anyone better.
It's no Sven yet. No one thought of Sven at that point. It was
Yeah,
all like Elsa and like Pixie Papa teams before they
Stitch, Stitch was
Stitch.
Stitch was good from the get go.
People would use to toss in Moana too. I remember that.
Oh right, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's silly,
she would be. You'd see her
silly.
like 4 million damage. You're like, what? No way! And then
Moana.
I just got Moana to G8.
Oh nice. Yeah though. Anything else on Siege you want to talk about? I think we
Um,
covered just about all of
we
it.
covered pretty much everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's a ton of strategies out there we could talk about, but everything is so like,
complex. And,
yeah, people like we know certain things are OP, like Frozone, Merlin, Headless Horseman.
yeah, it's more like
They're good, but like we don't really know what's good yet. There's no way to really know.
but we need a couple more weeks. In all honesty.
Yeah, and we need to be you need to like people will come up with things that are really really strong.
Yeah.
It's just kind of everyone's just out there testing right now, figuring out like things like I know I haven't run Shadow with my Merlin yet, and I saw someone do that and I was like, "Oh, that's so smart." Like I need to do that against Tornado, because that's like a Shadow doing like 20 Ks.
Yeah.
It's OP. So like there's just little things like that that I think people are going to find more and more of, and it'll become slowly easier over time, but I
Mhm.
really think it's going to be rough doing these heroics.
There was like one clubmate that I shared with you in Juice that did like 600k with that Jack, Pocahontas, Dash, Barley, and Ian team. That one was kind of shocking, but he used to use Ian and Barley for Forbidden Depths and would solo well, it was phase 4, but he would solo it easily with them, and he taught me the technique. I just never leveled up Ian.
Yeah, and that's that like that's a cool team, but it's really tough for a lot of people to run it. I think
Yeah,
because you're looking at Ian, Barley, Dash, and Pocahontas. Who's the fifth one you said? I forgot.
Jack Skellington.
Jack Skellington. Yeah, like most people probably have 0 of those characters T8. Maybe they have like Pocahontas, or maybe they have like Barley.
Yeah,
But it's a really expensive team. That's the tough thing about that one.
because no one really uses Dash anymore, and he's had. I mean, because a lot of people I play with in my club, of course, like you, they're old players, so they've had their dashes since launch or something.
That's fair. So if you wailed on Dash like right away, and
Yeah.
I know there was buzz about Dash being a good T8 when he first came out,
Mm-hmm.
but he actually was terrible.
It was a use, and to specify, this team was used on the Rock Titan as well. So you had the back and forth with Dash, kind of like the eels. So
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
bad. It worked for him.
Mm-hmm. No, and we'll find little. I'm sure there'll be more and more teams like that, and hopefully they're with more characters that we already have up, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to really T8 5 characters just for the Rock Titan.
Yeah,
That sounds awful.
there. Even though he's a tank and there's 2 of them, you don't want to waste all your resources on those guys.
Yeah,
There's
like
other
5
ones out
characters
there.
is just a lot of characters to T8.
Yeah. For me, it like the bottleneck is still going from 6 to 7. That's still my
Yeah,
bottleneck.
yeah, I know. Yeah, because I got Frozone to T7 and I could instantly take him to T8 because I have so much T7 gear.
Yeah. I want to take a freaking Frank because the amount of wilds gear I have. I
Yeah,
have a lot of
right.
wilds gear that only Elsa's touch, and maybe I think Sven as well. Sven are about to tier 8 before the nerf, so that was a
Yeah.
short-lived upgrade, but it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I see here you have the quality of life update for Quest. What does did you mark that down?
Yeah. So this was on the Wednesday's update, and it's really simple. They added a couple quests. They added an Ascension quest. They added
Yeah.
a Club Dungeon quest. They're both optional. That's really good because you know what that does? That just helps people remember that they have Ascension energy in Club Dungeon.
Honestly.
Um, they also like added like some gold to some quests, like not a ton, but a little bit. So it was just like a little itty bitty update that I thought was good because I think they should be sprinkling this type of thing into like every update. Um, just little thing like it's not like they gave us a ton of gold. It's like um if you're VIP, I think you get 2,000 gold a day from like the Sorcerer's
Mm-hmm.
tournament like quest now. Like not a big deal,
Not much.
but like just nice.
Yeah.
And if they can sprinkle that in everywhere, as well as like a way to helping people remember about Ascension, helping people remember about Club Dungeon. I wish they'd also have Ascension energy in the main menu. That's like my biggest pet peeve in this
Yeah.
game. But no, it's just a good little quality of life update, and I hope we see more of them because pretty sweet.
Because there's
Oh
room.
yeah, oh wait, they also did instead of having to do grand campaign, you just have to spend grand energy. So now you
Yeah.
can do side campaigns for that quest. So that's another good QL thing is
It was
I
so
know if anyone was
annoying.
doing when you were doing Wreck-It Ralph, you'd have to do 3 attempts on grand campaign.
Demona. That's where it
Jet,
went.
yeah,
Demona.
right. So dumb. So like another good QOL.
Big time. But we also got one of our fan favorites. We got the haunted packs back in the free calendars, but the haunted packs are nothing compared to spooky
Yeah.
packs.
Yeah, haunted packs are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I like how they kind of split them up into the vanity one and let me see what's the other one called. But it's essentially the villains one.
Yeah.
And essentially that yeah, it's one's for looks, one's for tokens. And I like that. I think that's cool.
I'm going for vanity.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I don't know if I can actually justify going for the villains one because you get like 2 tokens for characters and I just don't see this allowing me to 7-star any of these characters, right?
Yeah.
Like sure it'd be nice to get some Zerg, some Lotso, some Cruella, some Mother Gothel, some of these premium characters that are hard to find.
There's even Frollo, but he comes around.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, well, you only get 2 of them, and how many times are you really gonna roll each of these characters?
Yeah.
When they have either a 9 or a 6% chance drop. Like I don't see this being like, oh, I got 8 Zerg tokens, and that let me 7-star my Zerg a year from now. Like, what am I really looking at there? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's why I haven't spent any of mine yet, but that's why I honestly am really tempted by this vanity pack because
Gold.
at the very least you're gonna get some gold from the repeats, right? And like that's something that will propel your account. And like, do I want the Oogie skin? Yeah, obviously.
It's
Do I
one
want
of the best skins in the game.
haunted frame? Yeah, obviously. Um, so like most of the time you should just expect getting like 10k from these, right?
Yeah.
But then every once in a while you'll get either a talisman you don't have, an emote you don't have. A repeat emote gives you more gold, but there's only one emote, so it's not that likely. But yeah, so I don't know. Most of the time, I'm like really against like the aesthetic ones, but because you get nothing, I feel like
Yeah.
in the villains pack, I feel like you can actually justify going for vanity.
Unless you're
Not
like
that,
completely new player, maybe villains was like not a bad option, but
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, well, because the more villains you have, the less value, right? Like for me, Jafar, worthless.
Lifetime event.
Gaston, worthless. You know,
Yzma.
Frollo, worthless. Like Yzma, I technically do need like 50 more for tokens, so there's like some value there. But I'm not rushing to max my Yzma, you know, like I don't know. I might end up going for the villain still, but I just don't feel I don't feel really excited about it, you know.
I agree. It doesn't have the pool.
There's no, I wish there was at least a small chance for something big or something that wasn't just tokens, because 2 tokens at a time is just a snail's pace.
Like I would be more interested right now to buy the Elsa outfit than go buy packs like the 99-cent packs every day. I'm like, the Snow Queen doesn't seem like a bad costume if I really wanted to, but no, I'm not going to.
Yeah. Another thing that's weird to me is the vanity one has 5 alpha runes in it, and the villains one doesn't. So that's weird. Not that anyone needs alphas, but that's just like a weird thing they threw in.
Like, because there's no character tokens, we're gonna give you some alphas. If they gave me 1 gamma, I would have taken it.
Oh yeah, 1 gamma, then it's easy this every time.
Or half a delta.
1% delta drop, and then you just go for it.
It's like crypto mining,
right?
But
yeah, I mean it's good. It's free stuff, right?
Stuff.
You aren't spending any resources. Sure, you can technically spend $1 on it, which you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, don't go for it.
Yeah, like
it's the best advice.
This is obviously for the people that really want Oogie, and they're trying to get them, to buy it every day so they have a higher chance for Oogie. But I don't know. I think they've shown that Oogie Boogie's gonna come around periodically in these in types of packs, and he's gonna have like 25 tokens at a time.
Yeah.
So something kind of cool is that if you only get 1 Oogie drop, maybe next time you'll get another one. Like maybe eventually you'll be able to unlock him. Because the 25 isn't like completely useless.
Yeah, and it's like it's a whole month long thing. So
yeah,
they're gonna put it there. I'm pretty sure they're gonna put it in club adventures. There's gonna be side quests you can do to get it, like they always do. So.
And you can just hoard them and then see how many tokens you have at the end. That's what I'm probably gonna do. And then I can be like, okay, what are the odds of me getting the frame? What are the odds of me getting a full Oogie costume?
Yeah.
And just kind of seeing if I want to go for that vanity, and like, oh, the odds are really low for me to get either the frame or a full costume. Okay, maybe I'll just go for the villains. So you can kind of do it like that,
And I know towards the end of the year, I forgot if it was end of the year or anniversary with they did like the costumes for 1,000 gems.
Anniversary.
So they'll probably bring that back for the anniversary. So, one thing they haven't done is add new costumes, which I'm pretty shocked. This could be a whole video discussing.
Mickey is the last time they added a costume.
Mickey,
is that right?
Which was like Christmas last year. Yeah.
Is that right? Has there been no costume? No, Raya. Raya has a costume.
Raya has a okay. Well, I want like a mass costume dump, like.
Yeah, I mean, costumes are the best purchasable thing in the game, in my opinion, because they're just aesthetic. So people only buy them if they want it.
Yeah.
People that don't buy it don't have any FOMO. People that buy it get really excited. Exactly. It's just a win-win.
Like they have the talisman for like evil genie, right? Or maybe even Jafar genie. That could be a cool skin. Like just make him a lot taller.
Cool. Yeah. You could have vacation genie.
You could have like formal Sven and Kristoff, where they wore like the little thing.
There's a million different things. There's so many cool costumes you could have.
Giving you guys ideas, Glue. people will spend on these aesthetics. I probably spent, I'm gonna be honest, I spent several gems on the anniversary time to get some of those skins. Like I got the buzz one, I got the big bad wolf one, I think, I can't remember, but I got a bunch of them during that time. So it was like 1,000 gems. I was like,
yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, and you never see them. You really never see them, honestly. 1,000 gems versus buying them outright, dollars wise, is pretty big difference.
Yeah.
But of course, those are just aesthetics things. And the Yzma lab coat has been notoriously rumored to be a lot better than the regular Yzma. That's been a long time joke. Or is it a joke? We'll never know. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
But account updates wise, what have you done the last 2 weeks? It's been a big one for me. I'll say that.
Yeah, no, I think it's been pretty big for everyone. Let's see, I got Merlin and Frozoned T8. I hit level 80 today.
Oh, nice.
Level.
Yes. Congrats.
Let me see. I think that's been the two biggest things. I did a bunch of showdown, got a bunch of gold. I'm starting to work on Triton now because I never worked on my Triton, and I think he's pretty good in this raid too, honestly. I mean, cleansers are just good, right?
Yeah.
It's just good to have cleansers. I feel like while there's all these all the continuous damage and stuff, you're gonna want a cleanser in every team if possible. So getting more cleansers up, I feel like, is never a bad call. So Triton's my next farm. I starred him up and all that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just T8, 2 characters.
Solid stuff.
Hit level 80, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking around. I think that's basically it. Kind of been a little slower. I've just been kind of doing some little patches here and there, I feel like, in my roster. Getting it ready for raids.
I'm ready for Coastal Conflict. It's coming this week because I don't think I'll be able to get another tier 3 stone, but I definitely need the materials to build up to that. So this is a big one for me for the next time it comes around, probably another 3 weeks towards the end of the month. I'll be able to get another tier 3 speed stone. I forgot who I already made a decision of who I'm going to put it on. I can't remember off the top of my head. If it was going to be like a princess squad, it might be one of the, if the raid character is trying to be a lot better, then it'll probably be on one of those guys more than anything.
I'm thinking about Frozone for my next one.
That might be a good one. I may switch mine because mine was not in Frozone before. It was on someone else, and I can't remember at this point. But in the last 2 weeks, though, I'll speak for Joos because I'm not sure if he said it last time, but he got his Ralph to Gear 8 within last 2 weeks, which is pretty big because we're kind of helping him with how to use and whatnot. So congrats on that, Joos. That's the only account update I know for Joos. I think he's at 75 now too, from what he told me the other day.
Joos and his lack of refreshes.
He's saving up those gems, guys. He's like number 2 every day in Torch tournaments. He's getting those gems. He's racking up those gems every day. It's like 1,000 plus a week if you stay at level 2 every day. It's really good.
Yeah. Now he hit 1 the other day too. I saw on the it
oh
tells
yeah,
you sometimes.
If you hold
I hit it last night.
Can help big time. For me, I got Moana and Merlin to G8. Now, some people may say it's because you're a whale. Well, the thing is, I'm not. I just had a lot of oceanic material and I had a lot of mythicals because the last time I brought up anyone to G8 mythical was Hercules way back. I don't even remember when. Before even I think at G8 when I unlocked him, way before I got him to 7 stars. So this had to be probably in June or May when I got into G8. That was the last time I got someone to mythicals to G8. So I had 300 of the elite pieces, which are the what's it called? The ones you can only get in the exchange. So
yeah, the raid pieces.
The Dragon Tooth. I had 300 of those. and like the rare pieces or the expensive faction pieces, I had like 300 of those too. So or
Yeah.
more. It just for some reason like they kept on dropping during the raid. Now I'm happy about that because now I have a lot still that I can at least bring up one or two more people in that time frame.
Yeah. Because, yeah, those sorcerers chosen one. Everyone but Frozone is mythical. So there's 7 mythical characters. So if you're looking for something to buy in like your Forbidden Depths exchange, you see some mythical, you buy some mythical.
Yeah, I've only been buying the common and rare and common pieces and the illusions for mythicals. So the basilisk scale, been buying a lot of those and those illusions. Because if not, you're gonna be behind. I've also been buying Downtown Hero stuff just for Frozone for when he comes around. But once I get him there, because right now I'm at gear 6. And that's another one. Frozone, he was 0 for 0 for me, like nothing really. I think I had him unlocked and level 1, gear 1. Now he's like 5 stars, gear 6, and probably gonna get him within the next 2 weeks to 7 stars and probably gear 8 too. Because the biggest hump for me is just gear 7. Once you get past that hump, it's pretty smooth sailing after that.
Yeah.
And one day I'll get Frank up there. He's been the forgotten child lately. Just like I always put him high up my priority, and then something always comes up. It just thank you, Glue. Thank you, Glue. But that's pretty much it for my account stuff.
Yeah.
I would say I think it's pretty much it for what we have to discuss too. But I will say, guys, be prepared. The next couple weeks, Glue is, like I said earlier, probably gonna drop legendary in her tower or both within this month.
I don't think a legendary.
You don't think legendary? Okay.
I think just a tower.
Just tower.
I think a legendary we have some time still.
Who would you want to be the legendary?
Winnie the Pooh.
I would love Honey Puh.
Or Muppets.
Muppets.
Or Muppets.
I would
Muppets and Winnie the Pooh are my two. I've been rewatching the original Muppet Show from the 60s and 70s.
Classics.
And it is actually so good and so ahead of its time. If anyone hasn't watched it, it's on Disney Plus. Like, do yourself the favor, watch the Star Wars episode of the Muppet Show. It's legitimately hilarious, and I think it's my favorite episode of TV.
I have to watch it because I only watched like the Jason Segel Muppets film and Amy Adams,
which is great.
Yeah,
that film is great. I love that movie.
I watched that one. I remember VHSs when I was a kid, but I don't remember all those VHSs from when I was a kid.
Oh wait,
what was that?
Yeah. Well, one more thing I want to say on my account update. I had 1.3 million Forbidden Depths coins because they used to be called raid coins. So I thought I was like being smart by hoarding them. And then they changed their name to Forbidden Depths coins, and I was furious. So I had 1.3 million. So I've just been buying like things willy-nilly in this exchange because I have so many coins and I can never spend them all on T7 that I don't need. So I've been buying like the expensive faction pieces. I've been buying droplets in the raid exchange. Just because it's like if I spend efficiently, I will never get through my 1.3 million. So I've already gotten pretty far through it. I'm like, what, 550,000 lower. I'm at 750,000. But yeah, it's funny because I'm literally just buying droplets, buying expensive faction pieces, just trying to get some value out of this exchange that I hoarded way too long on.
But the beauty is, at least you have the funds where you can just be a little bit more, freely spending on it, which is kind of nice. Like if you're in a crunch, you have the ability.
Yeah, well, because like for like Downtown Hero, I am like I hoarded Downtown Hero for so long, so like I just got Frozone up like literally 30 minutes before we started, and I still have like 500 aluminum rods.
Jeez.
So I'm like, there's certain T7 pieces that I I'm straight up just never gonna run out of
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know, like there's like Minnie and Daisy, but other than that, there's like not really much downtown hero I even would want.
Ian.
So
Nah.
it's like
Fair
so there's
enough,
certain
Ian.
things where it's like I guess yeah,
You're like,
but
maybe not.
yeah, so I had to use it like inefficiently because
Mhm.
there's not that many pieces I want. Like I need kingdom pieces and I need mythical pieces, and that's about it. Everything else I can pass on.
But at least
But yeah, that
those,
was just kind of a funny thing for me where I was like, well,
yeah, you're not the
I
only
guess
one.
like I guess we're spending real inefficiently.
Not the only one, and now you can have fat stockpiles of stuff if you really wanted to
Yeah.
with 1.3 mil. But yeah, you guys enjoy Siege on Olympus. I keep on saying Siege of Olympus, but Siege on.
Is it Siege on?
It's Siege on Olympus.
Well, I've been saying of also.
Yeah, like if you look in game, it's Siege on Olympus.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I see it now. Shoot. Yeah, I've definitely been saying it wrong.
I look at myself and I'm like, I went to how many grades of school? And can't read apparently.
Siege of sounds way better.
It flows.
This is an epic fail by Glue.
I think even one of my video titles is Siege of Olympus, but it's actually Siege on Olympus. So enjoy.
That's tragic.
It's tragic. So enjoy it. Hold off, like if any club leaders are watching, continue your tier 3s until I would say you guys are really smoothing by tier 3. Keep pushing.
Do T2s.
Yeah.
Don't even do T3s.
But you guys are doing T3s, right? Or are you gonna go back to
No.
Oh no?
We never did a T3.
Oh, okay.
It's actually stupid to do a T3. Because it is 4 times as much health, and it has Sorcerer's Chosen requirement, and the rewards do not reflect that.
Yeah, I would say unless everyone in your club can do a tier 3 or tier 4, don't do it.
Yeah, I think you need at least 3 attempts from each person.
Do it efficiently.
Yeah, and that's for T3. I'm thinking
tier 4 you need 5.
Yeah, I honestly think for T4 to be like any type of realistic, you need at least 5 because you need you just need those attempts. You need to be able to throw out that damage.
Yeah.
Because attempts are such a big deal, right? Because the first couple 100,000 damage is way easier because they're not empowered.
Yeah.
So having just one more attempt is a huge deal because that's another 200k damage you can do before empowerment. So almost like a lot of teams can do that.
Oh yeah.
It's just teams struggle once the empowerment comes. So more attempts equals more easy damage.
Big time. So just hang in there. It's gonna be a while, but I think this is what the community is asking for. So we got what we asked for.
Strategies will come out. New characters will come out. It'll get slowly easier.
It'll get there, and that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. Thank you guys so much. As always, Sky is back to streaming. He got his computer fixed. He did a very early stream the other day. He's a little cranky, a little grumpy.
I'm always a little cranky, a little grumpy.
It was a morning stream, but it was fun. I was on there for a little bit, and I enjoyed it. It was always good seeing someone come back. But yeah.
Heck yeah. Good to be back.
But that's episode 22, guys. And next time, hopefully Joos will be back. I think we'll get a better schedule going. The holiday season, things kind of get crazy. And we're
my crazy work schedule.
That too. All of us were all back to, pretty much full-time environments. So it wasn't like last year, unfortunately. But
last year's like, hey, what do you want to do? You want to do it in the middle of the day? Let's do it.
You want to do it at midnight? You want to do it in the morning, afternoon, whatever the case may be? We could have done it, but it's a year later. Unfortunately, we can't. And actually, our 1-year anniversary is coming soon, so we'll do something.
Shoot.
We'll do something.
We'll sing.
Oh,
but only Joos and I, because our voices aren't good.
I will lip sync.
Yeah.
There we go.
Because your voice is too good for the quality of this podcast.
That's a lie. Anyways, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.
See ya.